Today, we are going to be talking about my favorite game of all time. A 3D platformer that is better than just good. Today, we are going to be talking about... First, to do a proper review, you have to know about this game. I qualify this game as a speedrun game. You play each of the levels while trying to go faster. That is the whole point of each of the levels. Go quicker. There is a stopwatch at the top of the screen in each level. In each round, you have to take out all of the demons in that level. Then, there are also guns in the game that are also your movement options, like an SMG where the secondary is a grenade jump. Now that we know a little bit more, we can go into the proper points of the review. To make this review less biased, I will average 4 points: gameplay, soundtrack, graphics, and story. This is what I will use for all my reviews, and like all YouTubers, I will remind you in every single video about each of these points. Now, let's start by talking about the story. And honestly, this is the worst part of this game. It isn't awful, but it does feel kind of bland. The main thought is that demons have invaded heaven, and you have a job to clear them out of heaven, which is why you were raised from hell. You did something bad at one point in your life, and they gave you back to try to give yourself an edge to come to heaven instead of going to hell as a sinner. You know, and if you kill all these demons better than the other neons, as these people are called, you get to go to heaven, right? You get to be in heaven for the next year, or however long it is, until the next one of these events, the next one of these challenges. And honestly, it's not great, right? The only thing that I think is really, really good about the story in this game is the characters. They use some common tropes so that way you kind of understand who these characters are, who they're gonna be, why they exist in this scenario. Because it seems from the beginning, it seems like you were some sort of bad guy in life. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in hell. You wouldn't be coming back from hell, right? And, honestly, I can't... Like, the story is great, the characters are great, but it doesn't quite reach the level of, like, Final Fantasy or something like that. It's better than SAO, if you know what that is, Sword Art Online, but it's just not great. So I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. It's not bad, but it's not great either. Next is the graphics. The graphics of this game are pretty great. The colors and everything makes it feel like you are in heaven. The fact that through the entire game, the sky is a clear blue, and the clouds are white, and there's never any rain, makes you really feel like you're playing a game that's centered in heaven. The next thing is the fact that it's styled in an anime style. It isn't a realistic style, right? It's a animated style. It feels like a Chainsaw Man, where you have the 3D animation in Chainsaw Man, right? Every part of it looks and feels like an anime. The main character uses a katana. Everything about it is clean and pristine, which makes it feel like heaven. Everything about it, from the Grecian architecture to the gold tints in all the buildings, it all feels like you're playing a game that's centered in heaven, which is super cool. And then the other part of it is that the demons are so out of place, which follows along the story of the demons having invaded, because they don't look right. They don't look the same as everything else. They don't match. They aren't blue, they aren't green, they aren't light colors. They are all dark, destructive colors. They're all these dark blacks with the whites inside of them. I mean, just look at the demons. They don't look in place of this, you know, pristine looking things. They look like, you know, almost like a stain on this heaven backdrop, right? The graphics are a 10 out of 10 for me. They just look so great, and I don't ever think they'll go out of style since they're not trying to use anything realistic like a PlayStation game like God of War or something like that. Next is the soundtrack. The soundtrack is a great look at how hectic the game is. It is another check on how fast the game wants you to go. The entire soundtrack uses sounds that aren't really common in music. Like there's one that's like electronic voices that talk throughout the game, and then there's one that's like a sliding guitar that's been pitched to a certain sound that just sounds hectic. It's in the back, it's not really forefront, so it's not scratching your ears and making you feel bad about it, but it is there. It makes you feel the need to go faster. It makes it feel like you're in error. It makes you feel like there's something wrong with the game. And it makes me really love this soundtrack. This soundtrack makes you want to explore and love the game. It makes you want to go quick. It makes you want to go the speed that the game feels like it should be at. Everything about this game is about being fast, and the soundtrack is no different. It's made by Machine Gun Girl, and man, I was listening to it while trying to make this video, and it is so good. Every part of it really makes you feel like you need to go quicker, like you need to be hectic, like you need to be searching around for the perfect answer. Again, I think this soundtrack is another 10 out of 10 for this game. It is so very good. Now, on to the thing that is the most important about a game. The gameplay. The game feels incredible. Every part of it is built to be a speedrun game. There are shortcuts everywhere in the levels. And honestly, I don't know what to say about it. The medals are also built off of the speed of that level run, right? There are 5 sets of medals, each doing separate things. The bronze allows you to see what you need for each of the medals, see what time you need. The silver allows you to see a ghost that sees if you're going faster than your previous time. The third one is a gold one that shows you the shortcut that you need to do to move on and get quicker. And then the ace shows you the global leaderboard to see just how far behind you are from everyone else. And then of course the 5th one doesn't unlock anything. The 5th one is just the dev time. And these medals really show off how much these devs have tested this game to its limits. Seeing how easy it is to do one path and hard it is to do the other. Seeing how easy it is to get these times, or vice versa, how hard it is to get these times. Because the aces in every level are almost always hard to get. The aces are difficult. The gold is actually pretty difficult too, because the gold you still have to have a pretty perfect time just going on a normal route, right? And then the game encourages you to be faster through the leaderboard with your friends, because it shows you your friends' times and you're like, man, I think I could beat that. You know, it makes you think, man, I want to play more of this game so I can beat that person's time, right? And it makes you start thinking, maybe I can beat that person's time if I just try a little bit, do this thing, do these slight changes. And then the other thing that makes this game make you want to go faster is the fact that the gun's second ability is always a movement option. It's always something that allows you to go either faster or move in a different way. Either higher, lower, whatever. Like the SMG. The SMG has a secondary ability that's basically a grenade launcher, but the grenade shoots on the ground and you can use it to jump further or jump higher, right? And that's important. I think it really makes this game start feeling like a speedrun title. It makes it start feeling that way. And then one of the other things to talk about when talking about gameplay is the 100% category, because I have 100% of this game. That's not like me bragging or anything, it's just, I have. That's what I've done, and I love it a lot. And it was fun. I really don't like 100% in games a lot of the time. I think it's kind of boring, and a lot of the times it's just going and getting a lot of collectibles that I don't really feel any connection to. I'm just doing it because I want to play the game for longer, right? I'm just doing it because I like the game. And this game kind of does it in a similar route, except for the fact on each level there is a gift, or most of the levels there is a gift. And in each of these gift levels, the gift is not hard to get, but thoughtful to get. It's not a how fast is your reactions, it is a how much do you think you can do this thing? How much thought do you have to put behind it? Because sometimes you'll have to save your weapons from the entire round to get to the next section of the game. Or to get to the gift, right? Like, there's one that's right at the beginning that you can't actually get till the very end because you have to get all of the weapons from everywhere, right? And not just the gifts are fun, but the things that you get with the gifts. Because I feel like a lot of the times, doing the completionist route doesn't really get you much. But in this game, it allows you to see more dialogue than you would have seen originally. Which I know the story is still a little bland, but it's still kind of just cool to see these fun characters interact in ways that you wouldn't have otherwise. And then the other thing is the fact that if you do enough of the gifts, you get side quests. And the side quests just throw the world on its head. Or just change everything, right? Or have a theme. Because the characters each have a theme. One of them is like, it's a psycho obstacle course where if you make a single mistake you die and it's trying to troll you. Or one is like you have to use the weapons to their full potential every time or you will die or you won't be able to make it to the next section, right? And one of them is like you can't use your secondary abilities, you just have to parkour well. And I think that's super cool. That's a cool way to do completion routes because it makes me want to do it. Because, like, in Spider-Man, I tried to do the completionist route because I liked the game, but I couldn't get myself to play it because I didn't like the gameplay loop of finding random collectible on the building somewhere random, right? I just thought that wasn't very fun. And in this game, it really does feel like the collectibles are part of the normal game. Even if it's a little bit harder to get them, it's not that crazy hard. And then there's a third super difficult thing, which is the end level rushes, which allows you to do the levels all at once, so that way you can either speedrun it or do whatever you want to do, right? But you basically do them from start to finish, and it's like a 60-minute thing. And I've done one of them. I haven't done all of them yet, because the hell rushes are really, really hard, because you only get one level to do 90, or one life to do 97 levels. That's insane. That's such a crazy thing. And then the last thing that I'm going to talk about in gameplay is the fact that there's no glitches that you're going to see in a normal run. In a normal run, the amount of glitches you're going to see are very minimal, as in 0. As in, you're probably not going to see a single one the entire time you're playing this game because they decided to test it. Because they've been testing it for years before this game came out. Unlike AAA titles today, where if you play Pokemon Scarlet now, why? Why are you doing that? I mean, why does it not work like a game should? Pokemon Scarlet is a AAA title. Neon White is an indie game. But I think it still does graphics and analyzing stuff way better than Pokemon does. At least the new Pokemon game. The old Pokemon games didn't have as many glitches because they weren't 3D and they weren't trying something new. And I get it, it's hard, but this game didn't. And it doesn't have the same budget as a Pokemon game. But it does have better time constraints. So what am I going to say about the gameplay for it? I mean, this game's my favorite game of all time. Because of the gameplay. The gameplay makes this game the best game I've ever played, ever. So of course, I'm gonna give this game a 10 out of 10 for the gameplay. And finally, the conclusion of the best game that I have ever played. I love this game, and I highly recommend it to anyone who likes 3D platforming. It's fast, it's challenging, and most important of all, it's a whole lot of fun. There are no games that I have played recently where I've had as much fun as I have with this game. Unfortunately, I can't give this game a 10 out of 10, as its story is not perfect, and I need to write something objectively, so I can't be biased. So, this game is going to get a 9 out of 10 for me. Not only because of the love I have for it, but also because of the fact that I need to be objective while rating it. but I do recommend it highly. It is my favorite game of all time, and honestly, I have little else to say. Thank you all for watching this. Please play indie games. Please play Neon White. Thank you for watching, and subscribe if you liked the video and want to see more like it. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day.